Hello and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2 with CasualT Gaming. We left off on our last episode with this kind of a mess here in Corpus Christi. And what I've done a few adjustments off screen. I added on another line and I moved the construction material line over to this terminal. I've also fixed the food line going here. It turned out the situation was I needed a double slip switch right here for this one train to be able to leave and get onto the inner track and then come back home on the outer track. I've also noticed that this line doesn't have any signaling, so we're going to go ahead and put those in right now to help facilitate that train being able to move back and forth. And now that we have multiple trains on this line, we're definitely going to want to be able to have multiple trains running at a time. And a wait signal right there. All right, so that should help us with getting this train going. And I am going to make the bread train wait for... Oh, can't be a one-way because we're using that one single line in and out. I think I can adjust it like that, and therefore, yep, that way not have to spend the money to just demolish it and bring it back. We'll go ahead and get the game rolling again. We'll go ahead and get the game rolling on fast speed again. We'll come back and check on that in just a minute. And I did mention that we were going to come check on our Anaheim goods. Let's see, where are we on Anaheim? 51 out of 64, 52 out of 64. That's wonderful. Our goods system is working. And it looks like our bottleneck. We've got good transport here. Plenty of steel. Plenty of plastic. It's actually just a matter of shipping it because we only have so much demand here in Anaheim. So I believe that means it's time to go ahead and build our train over to Independence. And as I said before, we're going to pause here because even though, yeah, I've got 62 people I'm going to lose, I'm going to redesign this station. I really made a mistake by putting a passenger station on the inside and not taking advantage of it. And what I really need is a cargo platform here on this inner side. And let's hope our passenger building still fits. And it doesn't, of course, because why would it? It would be too easy of a game if it fit. And our cargo platform barely fits. So what we'll do is let's see if we can do a passenger building on one side that fits, and it does. Let's see if a side building will fit, and it does. So what we'll do is we'll build it so that our passengers get to come in kind of over here. And we'll set up our cargo building over here. And it'll actually kind of look like it belongs. And then there'll be this opening through to the middle. All right. And now, one of the things we had discussed was the possibility of running a Shinkansen between these two cities. And if we're going to do that, I don't want our cargo to tie up the Shinkansen line. So we're going to run additional tracks. And so this will be our first quad rail. And I'm hoping that that the game is smart enough to, yep, follow along. Lots of tunneling, that's okay, we actually have the cash for it. Yeah, I mean, if you look at how long and straight this route is, I mean, as long as we can get the demand, the travel demand, there's no reason why a Shinkansen would not be the perfect choice for this kind of expansion. So let's go ahead and build out to here. And then for the curve is where we will separate the lines. All right, so we need to configure this station as well with additional rail. And cargo platforms. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and just tie into that platform. If I need to figure out some sort of way to adjust it, we'll do that in the future. There we go, right into the curve. Halfway through the curve and tied back in. And I don't mind it losing speed in these curves just because there's going to be so much slowing to go into the station as it is. So now we need our Independence, Anaheim, goods train. So we have our line, we have no vehicles. So let's buy some vehicles. Let's get all cargo, 13 out of 74, 12 out of 71. So I don't think I'm gonna lose that much, and it's the same speed. So we'll get 3 of those and they'll go to the train. And I think we have enough, terminals here that nobody's sharing, which is perfect. And then what we need is a train. And our train depot is back here. And let's see, it does not connect over to this cargo line yet, but that's easily rectified. Or so I thought. There we go. And now we need something that can handle goods, which is going to be a boxcar. And if I remember correctly, there is quite a demand for it here in Independence. 89, that's not terrible, so I don't need the train to be quite that big. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 to start is pretty good. And we don't need a huge amount of power, but we would like the speed. Okay, so that's a mediocre. That's good, and that's 13 million. 62 for 9 million. And then there's also the combined unit, which is, oh, I don't want it to be a pusher. 14 million for good. I think we'll go ahead and stick with that one for now. And that will be the Anaheim Independence goods train. Now we also need to build this out with a cargo platform. And we will need to go ahead and start running the game. We'll need to build a road depot. And we will need to build a drop-off point for these goods. And we have the goods mostly being required on this side of town. And I see that we're not going to capture these few because that little street doesn't go through. But I will fix that. There we go. And so we'll have our line that goes from here to here. And that will be the Independence goods delivery. And we'll buy 2 of those same trucks for that. All right, now let's go ahead and speed up the game now that we're at the point where we should be able to produce more goods here. Yep, we are lacking the plastics, so I'm going to grab what we can with these trucks. Grabbing plastics for us. There we go. Oh, we got our first Boeing B-737. That's tremendous. And our production and shipment are both creeping up. Shipment specifically is creeping up, so that's wonderful. I am going to go ahead and grab a couple more trucks for this line because I don't want it to become a bottleneck as the steel and here comes more plastic comes in for delivery. Yeah, so it does create a backlog. Road vehicle 29, no path. Oh, fine, sell you. And let's go ahead and get more vehicles. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more vehicles onto that route. And yes, those are noisy vehicles, but I don't care because they're so far outside of town. They should not. Their emissions should not impact Anaheim at all. So let's see what we have available to load up. 3. Well, that train is not going to make any money on this trip. But look at this huge amount of materials we have to supply to transport over here to our plastic or to our goods factory. And we can take a look at our consumers. Yeah, we need 151, and that's what it says our shipment number should be. So let's go ahead and see that happening. Now, in order to get to 400 on goods shipped, I'm trying to think if there's anywhere else we would want to ship our goods. New Orleans doesn't care. Concord doesn't care. Gilbert wants it. So does Corpus Christi. So there's actually quite a bit more demand up here to the north for goods. And specifically Corpus Christi and Gilbert are the 2 destinations. So we'll have to think about whether or not we want to run a train or something that kind of goes up this way maybe and hooks up to Gilbert. The construction materials train from Gilbert to Nashville cannot carry goods on the way back. 2 different train cars. I really wish there were a universal train car. I say that, I feel like I say that every episode. Similarly, if we wanted to produce fuel and send it back to Anaheim, we are talking about another type of train car, the tank car. So these would all be deadheading at least part of the route. just because there's no demand or no ability for those cars to handle the different types of materials. So that begs the question on what we're going to do next. We got 45 passengers on that train. That's a good number for, especially for this type of train. Independence has 100% 93 people, and I'm hoping that when we connect Independence up to the north via the Shinkansen, then all of the people who want to go from Anaheim over will also want to jump on board that one to go to the north, and therefore we'll be able to take advantage of that traffic as well. Our trucks are doing a great job of picking everything up out of this station. So yeah, really the limitation right now is the fact that we don't have anyone else who needs these goods. We need these towns to keep growing. And we'll be able to go from there to higher demands. Okay, so let's go look at Indy to see where we are over here. The other one we want is machines, which are going to be a little bit tougher to make down here, although we do have this kind of interesting option here with access to iron and coal feeding into this mill and into this factory, and that would be perfect for Frisco, Concord, and Independence all on one out of this one factory. That would be the best way to supply all three. And if I remember correctly, but I don't think I do, Frisco. Yeah, so all of the demands on this side, so we would have to do one of those things where we manipulate this train station into a pass-through instead of a terminus and go from there, potentially. Or a boat. We can always ship things back and forth via ship. However, well, 1960s, we should be getting pretty close to when the Shinkansen becomes available. Excuse me, because I believe that's in the 1980s that the Shinkansen comes about. Now we've got this tram and it's holding up our truck. So let's take a look at these tram vehicles and what is their speed rating. These guys can do 19. We're going to replace them to do 25. And hopefully get out of the way of our truck. That's trying to make a delivery along the same road. This road is a 2-lane road, so I don't know why he was decidedly following the truck, or decidedly following the tram. He could have just passed it. But you never know. Oh, we have quite the goods building up over here. This is wonderful. Independence has its first 3 goods, and and there we go with another truck full. So that truck is full. That's got all 12, and this guy should be able to get back in here and get 12 more as well. All right, Anaheim has a lot of traffic, a lot of people waiting on it. Where is the train itself? It does take a long time because that train is a long way away. So let's go ahead and see if we can upgrade that train while we're here. We'll upgrade to the faster car and a bit of capacity as well. And hopefully that means the train now can do the full 71. Yeah, it's sped up right away. And no, I do not have any signaling along this line yet, which I know I need. So that way people will start taking both track. And we'll go down to this end and do the same. Wait and wait. got all 72 in here. Good. This means that our Anaheim goods factory is producing at its maximum. So it definitely will start making sense for us to figure out a way to get these goods out of this factory to Gilbert and then to Corpus Christi. So we have the same problem with Gilbert and Corpus Christi, is that the train that takes the construction materials up to Corpus Christi cannot transfer goods. So, we may... Well, here's an idea. I'm going to put this out there, and we probably won't decide until the next episode whether or not to do it. We can turn... And there she is. We can turn this into a Shinkansen and freight station. And if we did that, then we could ship the goods from Independence up the same line. We do a quad line here, go across, and hook it up here into Corpus Christi. And at least Corpus Christi will get goods. Maybe we figure out a way to bring them down to Gilbert as well, but maybe not. All right. Shinkansen, we're about 20 minutes into the episode. Let's get this thing built. And so we can... Okay, so this is a low-speed bridge. We are going to have to adjust and upgrade that bridge in the future. I was hoping that the bridge would have been upgraded by now. Let's go back a little bit so that we can get a nice gentle curve into this. Ooh, that's not so gentle. That's better. And that's okay. And we'll put our one-ways here. And here. And let's build this line. So this is going to be the CC Independence HS train, high-speed train. I'm very excited about this. And let's let the game go. 1964 for the Shinkansen seems so early. But you know what? I know that the Japanese were working on it for a very long time, so that's tremendous. I can only imagine what that's going to do for our transportation needs. And obviously I doubt there's anybody on board at this time. No, of course not, because nobody knows that it exists yet. But this train is about to become a Shinkansen as well. I'm just gonna do it. Ah, darn it. Okay, done that before. I know exactly what happened. You click replace a train, but you forget to click add, and therefore it never adds it. It just replaces it exactly like it said it would. So I did exactly the wrong thing. So unfortunately, I've done that before, and I know precisely what happened, and it's terrible. Alright, so here we go. We're gonna bring our Shinkansen into Anaheim from Independence. Oh, I hope the station over at Anaheim's big enough. Oh, rush over here. It should be, but it'll be tight. But it should get there real quick. So let's see about the Shinkansen and how quickly it can run. 59, 64. Oh, come on. Alright, I'm going to pin that one. Let's go look for our other Shinkansen, which still hasn't actually made it there yet. And yes, it's noisy. I wish there were a way to mute the train sounds while you're watching the two trains. Wow, it goes flying past that freight train. And there it hit maximum 120, isn't it? Max speed 137. Oh wow, so it hasn't even hit max speed yet. Then we have one passenger coming back from Corpus Christi. And then the train had to slow down for the turn into the station. Wow. And we have how many passengers getting on board? Ooh, yes! Almost a... Okay, so 88. Almost more than half of a full train load. And so let's watch it one more time to see how fast he can get heading back into town. Here the Corpus Christi Independence train is hitting the bridge. So we're maxed out at 112. And immediately it starts accelerating again once it clears the bridge. Man, I don't know why this train isn't able to accelerate nearly as quickly. But 88 passengers from across the map should be profitable. I hope it's profitable. We're going to see before we wrap up this episode. $133 before it slowed down to approach the station. Nice easy turn into the station. And 4.39 million. That's perfect. Everybody out. And we're going to put on another 55 passengers. That's wonderful. And unfortunately, they just missed... Oh, well, actually, no. Nobody here, nobody who got off that train wants to go to Corpus Christi. That's kind of funny. Let's look at our destinations. Corpus Christi, there was one. New Orleans, that's still south. Concord... Oh, are they? No, Concord is south. Let's go ahead and fix train 1, and then we will call it a day. Gilbert Stone train. And let's go ahead and take a look at it, because we might want to go ahead and just upgrade the station, since it's 288, production 190. Yeah. So it's just that there aren't enough people who want that much stone, so it's producing what people want. Yeah. Since we only have one train on this line, I'm going to go ahead and just move these tracks over. Well, let's configure this to have one more. And we'll just do... We'll just do that, and we'll make that a double slip, and we will switch the Gilbert the Gilbert Stone over to Terminal 3. And that should give us Yeah, just in and out of that one station, out of that one terminal. No issues, no holdups for anyone else. All right, well, the Shinkansen has been built. We got this massive, amazing looking bridge, covers our river, our other train line, and the road even, and straight into a tunnel, just for the heck of it, I guess. And we will keep an eye on it and hope for profitability shortly. We got to just get people attracted to coming through Independence to go to all these other cities, and through Corpus Christi. We have 6 people who want to go to Independence, but now we're starting to see Anaheim, Concord appear. We are seeing New Orleans finally get some traffic on this route as well. So we're finally getting people who want to go through our lines. We also might want to work on our Frisco, Gilbert, and Newport News connections, because while there's traffic on those routes, they're not taking our train. And maybe it's because it's not frequent enough, or whatever, but we probably need to start looking at how do we get those people off of this road and onto our train without being the dictators who come in and blow up the the private car traffic. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I'm really excited we've finally got the Shinkansen up. I know why there's no traffic before, because there's no tram connection. Let's go ahead and fix that before we wrap this episode, after all. If we go that way and we loop around, we get some traffic into our tram station, and we wanted to go onto Terminal 2 to make it a little easier in and out, and then we'll have, hopefully now we'll have some traffic going into Corpus Christi. All right. Thank you again for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.